Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I am Ananda Rose. So good to be talking to you today. And yeah, what can I say? Happy solstice and happy full moon almost. All right. It is Thursday afternoon here in Auckland, and kind of a gloomy afternoon because the weather has been very overcast with clouds. And for whatever reason, today seems to be colder than most days. And I mean, it's kind of cold for June, although we're in winter. Our June is not as cold as this one has been in on certain days, and today happens to be one of those certain days. Anyway, um, and the other thing is, our full moon is happening tomorrow, 3 p.m. Auckland time, is what I'm understanding. I just got given that information earlier by somebody I was speaking to. Now, friends, I want to say, I thank you for supporting the channel, and thank you that Light Language Messenger has still not been transferred over, and it's because I'm about to do it, but I'm a little bit nervous because I don't understand all the technology of YouTube, and I don't want to. What I'm concerned about is if I do it and I click the wrong button, and I might end up um, messing up this channel, all right? Because we're transferring stuff from that channel onto this. So do please be patient with me with that. I am also sorry if anyone, well, dare I say I'm sorry because I mean, if people are wanting to unsubscribe, that means they're no longer resonating, and I need to release that. I need to be able to say it's okay if people are going, because one of the things we want to do is to increase our subscriber numbers here on the channel, right? So that's what shows us that this purpose that we are fulfilling here on the planet is being reaffirmed in that way. But then we go through these stages where um, people leave. And so I'm sorry if that's how you're feeling. I'm sorry if it doesn't resonate, but I'm also thinking, well, should I be sorry and say, well, stay blessed. And if it's happening that you feel you no longer resonate, that is okay too, because we are all on this journey to self, and we are all learning and growing, and some things serve us for a specific amount of time and things don't, and then they move on. Or we move on and they move on. That teacher, that social media person that you follow, they're moving on to doing whatever else that is next for them, moving to the next level. We are all moving to the next level. Today, I am doing this video. I was asked to do a video this week, and I want to say I'm not on here a lot because my guides have really been impressing upon me the need to be here when it is ordained to be here. And whilst I was doing last year, this time I was doing a video like every day, and I was also interviewing people. And yes, I know it doesn't look like a lot, but I had the energy for that, and I was meant to do that. And now we are at this point where we've just done the transition of the channel. We've changed Great Awakening Generator to Ananda Rose, and so we're now like, okay, we've done that, but again, it's not taking off like a rocket. It's actually slow integration, and I'm really listening to the guides before I come and sit here and do a video that I'm putting out. And I was told that I was meant to do a video this week. I must do one this week. Got to yesterday thinking it was going to be yesterday because I had said I was going to do something on the 19th. And then it just happened that no, it was not meant to be yesterday, because yesterday in, I had not interviews, I had appointments, and suddenly some things happened that my guides were saying, you need to change that. You need to rearrange something because this thing needs to happen first. It's all about the process and the progress. And you know what? I was going to my client to have a meeting with him, the one that brings me my financial means at the moment, right? And and they asked me to reschedule that. That's interesting, right? Where they're saying reschedule that thing that that you go there and you earn money from it. Um, but I had to do that because whatever was happening at that point needed to happen. I needed to do a meeting that came up, and I did it. And then I had to go on to another appointment. And I've got to tell you, the other appointment, I call it an appointment, but my daughter was like really encouraging me to visit her yesterday in the afternoon. And I thought, oh my goodness, why does she want me to visit her at this time and all of that? She had had other appointments, but she wanted me to come through and visit her after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, after that appointment that she'd had in the morning had finished. And she had returned home. I go to visit her and I thought, oh, there's something up here. She's going to give me some news or the other. Maybe, who knows? Maybe I'm becoming a grandmother, or maybe she's getting married. I don't know. But I knew that she was deliberately inviting me over. I'd figured out there was something behind that invitation. So I get there and I knock at the door, and she takes a while to come to the door and answer and let me in. And I was about to knock again, and I thought, I'd just be patient, just wait. She knows you're coming. She knows that the knock is, she's expecting a knock. And then I hear her coming down the stairs. I can hear her footsteps. And as she opens the door, she's holding a fur baby in her hand. So yes, I was introduced to my fur grandbaby yesterday. He's called Asterix, and he is 3 months old. Asterix is a cross between a miniature schnauzer and a Shih Tzu. I think it's Shih Tzu. I just can't remember. I think it's Shih Tzu, but he is a beautiful, adorable, beautiful little fur baby. So I was just like over the moon. I didn't know. I laughed, I shouted, I did all of those things like in that moment. Right. So that's my news. I have to tell you, the newest addition to our family is Asterix, and he's interestingly enough, he has got the same colors as Baxter. Yeah. I mean, she was talking about getting a black puppy. She was talking about getting a white. She thought, oh, it's going to be white, or it's going to be black and white. And now we have Asterix that's got the same sable and black coloring as Baxter. And when we look at Asterix, look into his eyes, I've seen his eyes before. So he's someone come back, and I don't know whether it's a human or in my life that left, or whether it's a pet, and I haven't figured it out yet. So Asterix is back in, whoever Asterix is, that person is back in our world through Asterix, the body of Asterix. So today, message for today, and I've just been talking to people and getting so much information this week, so much stuff about what is about to happen in my world and what is about to happen in specific people around me, their world, post the solstice. So I was asked, though, to come and talk about something today, and I don't know why. There's two things we're meant to talk about, or maybe even more than two. We'll see how we go along. And I'm trying to make these videos less than 50 minutes, and I'm sometimes not getting it right, but let's hope we do it. So this week, or I'll say in the last, few weeks, I've had conversations with light workers where they're finding the family dynamics challenging. Some some of them have teenagers, some of them are having relationships with partners or husbands, right? And they're finding that the work that they're doing, the light work, the mission that they're on, their desire to be in hermit mode is really being challenged because of those around them, because of family members and their needs, or that family members do not resonate with what the light worker, light being is talking about or doing, because some of them are mothers, some of them are fathers, some of them are children, and they are being misunderstood by the family members. And that is now, in our present time, a challenge for many light workers and light beings and energy healers, esoteric people. I have one person that said to me in the last few weeks or last couple of months, hey, you know what? I have been doing this journey on my own, yet I've been part of my family. And, I've been doing this journey since the 60s, and I'm here now, and no one seems to understand that. Or I've been doing this journey since the 80s, and I am finally got to a stage where I cannot cope with all of that negativity, or I cannot cope with being shut down all the time. Now, what can I say about that? I'm just being reminded we need to do some light language, all right? Before we carry on, because what I forgot to start off with was our light language, our opening light language. We've got some people across the road that are doing some drilling and things like that, friends. So if we get that coming into our recording when I turn on musicians mode, I apologize in advance. So take a moment to breathe. Feet firmly planted on the ground. Welcome, friends. Welcome, friends. I'm reminded that we have got the sun that we are working with. The sun is still shining. The sun is still shining, even when you can't see it. Yes, I know. Yes, we've had a lot of chemtrails. There's a lot of geoengineering and technology going on. And currently, it's a lot for us, always rife around the full moon. So light worker, light being, if that is available to you, I would encourage you to stand and look up at the sun. And work with the sun because the sun is working with you. No wonder we have these X-class solar flashes coming through. Technology is working hard to blindfold or to create illusions. You are working forward with your light beingness, with your guides, with your dragons, with your squad in spirit, and join the sun. Communicate and connect with the sun, even if you cannot see it. Breathe again. Kari. Come back. Feet firmly on the ground. We have called it Right, I'm going to turn the musician's mode off and we're going to go now. We're going to talk about what I was getting to. Coming back to the family challenges we as light workers, light beings are experiencing. I want to encourage you to look beyond the third dimensional response because we are multidimensional. And so we are looking at it in a third dimensional way sometimes because we have lived with these people for so long, or we have lived next to that neighbor for so long and we've had the same responses. Or we are like, oh my gosh, I don't know, I can't cope with it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know whatever. Friends, I know that we are going through transformation and it's been said, and it is true that many of us will leave the relationships we're in. Many of us might disconnect from things that we have to disconnect from things that no longer serve us, but it's going to come through in a time when it's absolute right and perfect. But in specific, I am speaking to any of you that are experiencing challenges with romantic relationships and family connections. And of course, your neighbor, that you've lived next to for all this time. I want to say, or I am saying, I think that we need to look at what is illusion and what is real. A mother-child relationship, for example, right? It's not something you just disconnect from. We disconnect from the nonsense, but we don't really disconnect because we are connected. Because, many of us have had to bring in children that we know, many of us have brought in children that we don't know what they're going to do, what their journey is about. And quite often, if you are going to witness it from their separation from us, then we're going to feel separate and it's going to be more challenging. I am told to say, work out what is illusion, work out what you are being called to. What is it? Because you're being called to another level, right? You're being taken through the transition to another level. And that does not mean the end of relationships. It does not mean the end of, because are you going to disconnect from your teenager? Are you going to disconnect from your neurodivergent 9-year-old? You can't really, because these children still need us. They still need us. No matter how much light being and light worker we become, we are still needed in the lives of these children. That multidimensionalness and the third dimension existing still requires us there. I have a child that's going to be 33 soon, by the way. And I have gone through teenagehood, and I've gone through some things that I felt really heartbroken about as a mother to a teenager. In fact, in times I wondered, oh my gosh, what have I done to deserve this? Or what have I done? What was I thinking when I thought I wanted to be a parent? Now, that's kind of deep, right? But it's true. What was I thinking sometimes? Some of you might be thinking, what was I thinking when I thought I wanted children? Because I didn't know it was going to be this challenging, or because it can get like that, right? Whether you're awakening, or still asleep, or whatever, the point is that is teenagehood. What is your fifth dimensional response to it? I want to ask, because, well, we're not exactly completely in the fifth dimension, but what is your transformational response to it? I am encouraging you that your transformational response to it be, okay, what am I learning here? What are they calling me to? What am I being leveled up with? Or what am I doing? What is the next level I am being pulled to? What is this thing that's going on that I need to take the transformation through? I want to say it can be as simple as, okay, you're 22. I don't have to do all your meals every day. Yeah. Releasing those things that help them grow up and become responsible adults. Okay. For example, and I'm really speaking to the children thing here, right? When I say that, right? So this is my encouragement. Ask the guides, the esoteric team that you work with, the energies that are around you, your team in spirit, your guides, your collective, your dragons, your archangels, your fairies, your trees that you work with, anyone that gives you comfort. What are you having to learn here? Help you work it out, remove the blocks for it. And what is it that you need to do and be so that you can have your learning and they can have their learning? Our children are very, very highly energetic. Our children too have come to serve the purpose to help us transform. We're not here just in a physical perspective. Some of you might think, oh my gosh, I can't see that happening with my daughter. I can't see that happening with my son. I can't see that happening with my partner. Love covers a multitude of sins. And I know that you have been holding love as covering. I know that you have been expressing love and bringing it through because it covers a multitude of sins. And I don't mean sins as in sins from the Christian perspective. I'm using it in a term, in an idiom way, right? This is what is being said. Express your love. Love is also tough. Love doesn't mean letting other people walk all over you because you have a love connection with them, because you're a mother to them, or because you're a sister to them, or because you're a wife, or whatever. Yeah. So I am encouraging you today to take back your position as the empress in your home, right? Or the emperor, whatever you resonate with, I am encouraging you today to take back your position as the queen of your world. And I am encouraging you today to be the high priestess that you are in your world, or the high priest, or the king that you are in your world. Right. That's one aspect. When it comes to the romantic relationship, be real with those that you are in a romantic relationship with. I want to also say to you, the more we take this journey to light beingness, the more we realize it is tough to be with somebody who is not in the same energy space. If anything will change relationships in our world, that's going to be it. That is the platform. That is going to be it. It's going to be this. Someone's going to be, you'll find yourself maybe saying, I am evolving to this thing, this person, and I no longer resonate. I love them so much, but we no longer resonate, because the more I'm becoming light being, the more I'm becoming light worker, I'm seeing how those things are not part of my life. Or, oh, I can't do that with somebody who doesn't get me, somebody who's going to stand there and ridicule me, or I might say something and they're going to laugh and say, oh, you're talking nonsense. We are so moving forward, and so rapidly moving forward, that this is not serving us anymore. And I am encouraging you to own your truth about you, who you are authentically. Right. That's the one aspect I wanted to talk about. We are going to bring in, I think we've got a high priestess, we've got a queen here, and we've got, I don't know what the third one is, but we will find out shortly. So this next topic is a sensitive topic. It is one of growing up. Many of us, light workers, light beings, when we came onto the planet, things happened in our world as children that tried to snuff out the light that we are. Now, we came into families, and, as parents are expected to support children and to discipline some of us, especially those of us that were born prior to the 70s, prior to, say, 1980. Yeah, prior to 1980, not prior 70s. And we are now what? X generation baby boomer people, right? That's the classification we've been put into. Our parents didn't understand what abuse was. They took discipline as discipline and not abuse. And in this modern day and age, many of us that have been children in those times, we were disciplined with physical abuse, I'm going to say. We were slapped around or whatever. Some of us were sexually abused. Some of us were molested, and many of us carry that memory of those things. Many of us still define ourselves by those things that have happened to us, right, in those times. Now, I know that is a sensitive topic. It is not a grand topic. It is not one people just want to talk about. And then more and more people, as we have evolved, are able to say, hey, you know what? That happened to me, right? Now, I'm speaking about this because it happened to me as well, friends. I need to say that to you. It happened to me as well. And for many years, I carried the burden of this stuff that happened to me. Now, I'm not going to go into details. That's not what this conversation is about. I know that as a child, if I remember myself as a child, I remember that I saw a lot of things beyond what others saw of my age group, my sisters, or, my cousins. They didn't see some things I saw. I was a very noticeable child. Growing up, I was a noticeable child. I had these big eyes and a round face, and people noticed me. And so, unfortunately, sometimes I'm noticed by the wrong kind of people. Yeah, people who have other intentions, right? Sometimes most times the very people you trust are the ones that will do things that will take liberties with you that they're not allowed to. They think that they're the adults and they can do whatever they do. Right now, I'm saying that because I believe that this is a message that somebody needs to hear. And I want to say that through the years, I blamed myself as a child for any kind of sexual abuse or anything like that. And then I became a parent and I realized there was nothing that my child could do that would make me feel that way about her. And I realized it was not my fault. I didn't do anything to make anyone think that they could do that. I was not doing anything. Children don't have that attraction radar to say, look at me, I'm sexual, and you know what? You can have your way with me. They don't have that. They are innocent, lovely, beautiful things. They are brought onto this planet. They come to this planet. They choose to come because they too are, our parents didn't, probably most of our parents didn't recognize that. But we do now, right? We have evolved and we do now, and we have come to be the way showers for that. Many people from prior to now, if we're doing the esoteric work, that's what we come to do, right? So I come to that realization, and over the years, as I've evolved and I've transformed and I've gotten closer and closer to my guides, I have overcome the guilt, the all of those things. I've overcome the guilt. I have overcome the self-blame, the self-hatred, the whatever. I had a time where I actually wanted to confront my abusers. I thought next time I see them, I had it in my head that I was going to be at an event, because there were a few events happening that I was likely to be at, and that I normally, when I'm at events, people ask me to make a speech. Impromptu, whether it's family, whether it's friends or whatever. Hey, Rose, could you say something about certain things? And on the fly, I have to do it, right? Or I've had to do it, and I've done it because that comes easy to me. And I thought, well, next time I'm at one of these things, I am going to call out my abusers because I know they'll be there. I am going to shame them. I'm going to name them. I'm going to blame them, and I'm going to shame them. I went through that phase and I worked through that phase. And this was probably more like 2018, 2019, when I was going through that, to that rigmarole of in my head what I was going to do. And I find myself here on this day, 20th of June in the year 2024. And it's a 9-day in numerology, isn't it? I think it's a 9-day, 2 plus, or maybe not, 2 plus 6. No, I don't think so, friends. I can't count. Can you tell? 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. It's a 7-day. It's a God day. Right. 8 plus 8 is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. That's, I've just realized I need to explain that more simply. And it's God's day. So I want to say, I am saying, here I am today, able to talk about this. I'm not saying that it was great. I'm coming to a point with this. I am sure there are many light workers, light beings out there that have gone through some kind of trauma in that way as a child. Whatever your childhood trauma is, whether it was emotional abuse, whether it was physical abuse, whether it was sexual abuse. I feel tearful because I feel like this can't have been easy. I know it wasn't easy for me. I was ashamed of myself for such a long time. But I also know that I was a child. And my experience probably started from as young as maybe I was 3 years old. Yeah. And some of us, maybe even from before I can remember, who knows? Okay. I want to say this, I'll make this statement. It's nothing to do with my parents. My parents were not responsible for that. Okay. They were not responsible for that. They were not the abusers in that sense. Okay. So I just need to say that because let's not, as I said, I didn't really want to be giving the gory details of it because that's not important anymore. The importance is, what have we learned through this? The importance is, as a light worker, as a light being, what have you learned through it? Have you got through it? Have you taken the time to heal yourself? Because if you haven't, I want to encourage you to do it. Because what you need to see through this is, because this is where I'm at today in terms of that. My thing is, I believe once that happened, it was not the ultimate best thing to happen to me. I didn't see any of it. But I'm here on this planet and I'm here now. I know this. I'm here on my life's purpose. And I came into that. I took the journey like I did this time, chose the family, chose the parents, chose all of that, chose all of the people that I chose before I came here, because these people were instrumental in helping me learn, support, have empathy for anyone else who is in that situation. Whether it is an abusive relationship with a partner, whether it is people who are being human trafficked, whether it's children that are being abused, whether it's animals that are being abused, it made me more empathetic, more compassionate. It prepared me for where I'm now in my life, where I know that perhaps it was designed that way, that I would come and I would have those experiences so that my empathy and to fulfill the missions that I needed to what's the word? To invoke the compassion, to be steadfast in my mission on the planet. I am not discounting that is very traumatic for any human being to go through. But I am encouraging you to work it out. I am encouraging you to clear the blocks in your life so that you can progress and you can see how the healing comes, how acceptance comes, how going through the motions and dealing with it on your own with yourself, between you and the guides and the healers that are around you, using that to actually go through your process and your purpose and come to this point where it is not going to block your progression here right now. You will not drop the ball because of it. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Thank you for understanding that. So, friends, I'm in a place where I know that it was relative and relevant. I'm sorry if you're not there. I want to say I empathize with you, my friends, and you know, trust that it'll all work out and that we are on our journey and we're going to make it all. Everything is relative and relevant. There will be healing. I'm going to encourage you to get in touch with me if you feel like you wanted to do some healing with that. And it's just dawned on me that we actually do need to start doing some healing for anybody who's a light being or a light worker who's gone through that and still struggling with the trauma of it. But at the same time, when we do bring light codes down for healing for all of you, we will be bringing down light codes for healing for everyone else on the planet as well. Right. Interesting cards that we got today. There we go. Queen of Wands. Katama. We're starting with the Queen of Wands, friends. I'm reading from this site here called Biddy on Google, and they explain what the Queen of Wands is. The Queen of Wands in the upright position, and this is coming from the Rider-Waite Tarot. This picture is from the Rider-Waite Tarot of the Queen of Wands. I look at her, and she is the Fire Queen, and she is really it's depiction of the fire signs, right, of the zodiac signs, the Aries, Sagittarius, Leo people. Yeah. Okay. So if you have Queen of Wands, if you have any of these, is it a rising and a rising, a moon sign, or your star sign? Any of them, Queen of Wands, right? The Queen of Wands, especially in this, there's a black cat sitting here at the bottom. Okay, so if anyone thinks you're a witch, okay, yeah, that's good. We'll take that one. Okay. There are lions There are lions on the banner above her, and there are sunflowers, and she's holding a wand. Yeah. And next, and on the throne, on the side here, on the sides of the throne, I think those are lions too. That's the Queen of Wands for you. I just look at what else is she holding. And she's holding a sunflower, right? And she's wearing her beautiful crown. And I feel like this Queen of Wands, I'll put it in the thumbnail so you can see that better, friends. The Queen of Wands, let's read about her from Biddy on Google. In the upright position, and she came out in the upright position. She's been sitting on my desk the whole of last week. The Queen of Wands, somebody suggested that the Queen of Wands is an important person. Either I'm the Queen of Wands, and I am because I'm Aries. I'm the Queen of Wands, or somebody in my world is a Queen of Wands that's coming our way. But in the upright position depicts courage, confidence, independence. She's a social butterfly. Thank you, Rose is. And determination. Right. We're not going to read the reverse position because she wasn't, all right? The Queen of Wands sits upon a throne decorated with lions facing opposing directions, a symbol of fire and strength. In her left hand, on her crown and behind her, are sunflowers, symbolizing life, fertility, joy, and satisfaction. And her right hand holds a wand with one small sprouting one small sprout springing to life. A black cat sits at her feet, a sign that while this queen is bold and outgoing, she's also in touch with her shadow self. Can't make it up. She's also in touch with her shadow self, the darker, lesser known side of her being. Namaste, karamakato faranahe. Today I told you some things about me, about my shadow side. I never thought I'd be talking about that, but as I was getting ready for this recording, the guides were saying to talk about the family relationships for light beings and light workers, but also we needed to talk about this aspect in particular, childhood trauma, about sexual abuse, physical abuse, and emotional abuse. And light beings, light workers, if you are going through that, they are asking you to jump up, take your next step, and move forward and clear the residue of that shadow, because those experiences are in the past and they are no longer happening to you, right? If they are still happening to you, then you need to seek help, but go within and find out what help it is that you need to seek. Okay, right. Right. Thank you. Thank you for that so much. Thank you for listening to that message. We have got two people from the African Goddess Rising Oracle card deck by Abiola Abrams. Yeah. Now, I'm going to read the second one, the first one second that came out that I needed to talk to you about today on this, but I'm going to read, and the second one is a number 30 card, which is called Mami Wata. Mami Wata. And she is a number 30, which numerology is 3, and see what that is for you. Now, the temple, I've said this before, if you watch the videos, this oracle card deck is as doesn't have suits. They are actually called temples, and it's got 9 temples. And I'll just remind us what the temples are. The temples are threshold guardians is one. The second temple is ancestors. The third temple is conjurers. Fourth temple are the warriors. The fifth temple are the shadows. The sixth temple are lovers. The seventh temple is the griots. The eighth temple are the queens. And the ninth temple are the high priestesses. High priestesses, ninth temple. Okay, right. Mami Wata is from the temple of the griots. There she is. Look at her. She's a mermaid. Right. Let's read about Goddess of Emotional Nakedness, Diaspora. She comes from the temple of the griots, and the element for this goddess is water. This African goddess, right? Mami Wata and her sisters live in the Ikpoba River in Benin City in Nigeria. But the ancient mermaid goddess is her own global pantheon. Mami Wata influences emotions and gifts her followers with clairvoyance and healing powers. Mami Wata's guidance is this: hide no more. The emotional nakedness you avoid is your superpower, not your shame. Embodiments. Being emotionally naked means being vulnerable enough for the real you to shine through. Vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Practice being transparent. Start with the people closest to you. Say, I haven't been showing the whole me, but I am starting today. Have the courage to feel and express your feelings without people pleasing. Speak your truth. Share your story. Cultivate an appreciation for vulnerability in others. Become comfortable with feeling uncomfortable and making others uncomfortable. The goddess's declaration is, I have the courage to be vulnerable. I have the courage to be vulnerable. I have the courage to be vulnerable. Oh my gosh. Look at what we just talked about now. Family relationships and childhood trauma. Right? It's really beautiful, this card, because it's got all the planets and you can see Saturn. You know, can you see Saturn in it? Can you see Saturn? It's got the planet and it's got the cosmos, and she's amazing, and she. I do love her. I love it. Right. Next card is Iset. I say, I sit, I sit. Now she is suckling her baby. She's a high priestess, by the way. She comes from that. And she's a number 44 card. That is Iset. Right. I'm going to put it down. And because we want to make sure that we do not lose our power here on the social media platform just because we're showing something like this. But this is a mother suckling her baby. Right. Right. We had to conclude with her. We had to conclude with her. Iset is the number 44 card in this Oracle card deck. And there are 44 cards in it, by the way. There isn't any more. She's the last one. Origin is Nubia. And Nubia is modern day Egypt. Yeah. She comes from the Temple of the High Priestesses, and her element is bush. Right. Goddess Iset is revered as a magical healer and sorceress. She of 10,000 names. You may know her as Isis. Her Greek name. Or Oset. Or Aset. Or Wuset. Iset was worshipped in ancient Nubia, the Sudan region, Egypt, and beyond. Iset's guidance is, let it all go. Say aloud now, I surrender. These words cast a spell. Breathe them in. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. Karamaketanaham. The embodiment here is release control. Stop bonding around struggle. Hand the keys to the divine. Allow spirit to carry you and fill in the gaps. You don't have to figure it all out. God, Goddess has your back. Have faith in where you are at this moment. The Goddess's declaration is, everything I need to know finds me at the perfect time. Everything I need to know finds me at the perfect time. Everything I need to know finds me at the perfect time. I sit, I sis. Isis. Karamai, 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 lululululululululalam. I'm going to apologize in advance for any noise coming through from the surroundings. Oh, my, la mai, mahamai. Oh, alenai, karamakai. Please take a moment to breathe. Kun haya, kun haya, kun maya. Hila ne le makahila me. Hila kutle Gorona kita, gorona kita, gorona kita na makai toalayam. Ika na tila katona mahai. We are invoking the Queen of Wands into our space, my friends. Hakikahi ho na makaita para na kainoa. This is the Queen that reminds you that you have strength and you have courage and you can take this journey and you are flowing and following and being yourself. And yamahana hina kota amahaina tuto faranahai. Oh, my, Mami Wata, kurukita naikita, rokutanahe. She's reminding you that you are a goddess. And you are of the cosmos. Time to be transparent, because in your transparency and your vulnerability, you show your strength. Iset. Isis, moko hameke mamuko mahaye mahamatuto ko amaiya. Go takani karakita to kaina kona mahaina tofrana. Kola mahitsle. Gola makatafan, gola makitafo, tele. I'm reminded you need to work with the sun. Even if you can't see it, it is there. Get an app that, like space, like my Skywatch or something like that. Might have an app for you to be able to look at the galaxy and see where the star systems are and which direction the sun is, even if you cannot see it. I'm being asked to stand up, and I'm just going to stand up a little bit, friends. Oh, yeah. Aya, corona, Corama kaflane, oh. Karamakita, Manamakota Taparana, ya, Natina, Karimakito Fanana Tatlane, no Corona Kataya, you, Kuronakita Damahaina. We are invoking the help, the support of the sun. We are bringing in the sun's energy. We're asking for assimilation of the solar flashes. And the solar flashes are coming through and they are going to be assimilated into our physical being, into our energy, our mental space, our emotional space, our physical body, helping you to clear the blocks, to clear the trauma, helping you to see clearly now that the rain is gone. And even if it's raining where you are, your spiritual energy, your field is not raining. You are seeing clearly. And
And apart from seeing clearly, now that the clouds are lifting in your energy space, karikito, in your mind space, karimito, you have the power of the Queen of Wands. You have your Isis energy. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be transparent. It is okay to tell your truth, for in vulnerability will you find strength. Standing still, feet firmly planted on the ground. Breathing, breathing. Kalanaya maita naya. Kalemakai lamam. Kita fana kara kita marakan to. Karamahamko karamam lelelelelelelelama. Ikana vitsle karana fikatom. We're going to sit down for a moment. I'm going to sit down. Take a moment again, friends. Breathe. Karana title, amorana hai. Amorana kai, samaka, tsarana, mainaka. Thank you. Kalemase lona talemate la. Oh, koranaki ta. Thank you. Okay, take a moment to breathe one more time. Golden light coming through now to flickerati to farakita no to right. Feet firmly planted on the ground. Take another breath. Blow it out. Kema. Yes, anakitatada. Okay. Thank you. Hi, Makia. Thank you. I'll have a sip of water. If that's available to you, please feel free to do the same thing. Friends, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your patience and thank you for your understanding. And I am intuitively guided to do our videos, so this is the reason for them being scarce at the moment. I'm not sure how long this goes, but we just have to go with the energy. We have to go with intuition. We have to go with the guides. If we are to be authentically ourselves, then we have to listen to the guidance. Thank you so much, friends, and I will catch you next time here on the channel. And yeah, take care of yourselves, and I will I'm just wishing you happy full moon and happy solstice. Stay blessed and keep reaching for the stars and keep looking up for all of it. Home is still there. The sun is still there. Home is here, but home is there too. Akaramatoto. Thank you. Namaste, everyone. I'll catch you next time. Namaste.